So here we are in Hokkaido, Noboribetsu, and an amazing personal collection of toys that has turned into a museum. This is every kid's dream come true. Toys, toys, toys! From a different era, tin to plastic to silicone, all with a story. The owner is a friend of mine, and today we have an exclusive look at toys you've never seen before. Joined by a Japanese toy expert, let's go back through Japan's pop culture where every toy has a story.
Only in Japan.
This is Wakaki-san Smithsonian, the toy store owner's private collection of both common and rare Japanese toys showing the decade's change during his years, starting from the 1960s. I've known Wakaki-san for years, and we're going to have a good look inside his private collection teleporting through Japanese toy history. Let's go.
Whoa!
Wow.
It's an amazing collection.
What a place. What a place.
It's pretty random in here, so we'll start with Kaiju, giant Japanese monsters growing from cinema and TV. Matt found a great starting point in the back, and it may be recognizable to all of you, one of Japan's most iconic characters and popular toy with a story.
Japan is known for its pop cultural characters today, but that history really traces back to one character, Godzilla, the big guy, from 1954. That's when the first Godzilla movie came out.
The silver screen really took Japanese characters to another level in the 1950s, now the longest-running film franchise in history. Godzilla was neither evil nor good, a phenomenon from the invention and use of nuclear weapons, nature taking its revenge on mankind.
But the first Godzilla toys didn't start to come out for a couple years after that in the 1960s. And this is something that I found here and I really love. This is a vintage 1960s Godzilla toy, but it's a knockoff, it's a fake. So like the company, Godzilla was so popular that the company who had the rights to it couldn't keep up with demand. And so other companies started making their own unlicensed versions, of which this is one. And I can tell it's unlicensed because of the material, the color, but these are actually quite desirable now. Like collectors want these. Because,
Well, yeah, the legs and the arms all move.
Yeah,
It does look a little funky though.
Yeah, and that's the other interesting thing. So in the 1960s, this is how Godzilla toys look. They're kind of rounded, almost kawaii, almost a little cute. If you compare this to a modern Godzilla toy like this one.
Look at the details on it.
Yes.
Wait, this is like 30, 40 years old?
This one is made in the 80s, late 80s, and it's a really great rendition of the character. But you can see, look, even down to the scales, he's got this spikiness to him. The old toys have a much more rounded feel. And the reason why is because back in time in the 60s, the toy companies were worried that giant monsters would scare kids. And so they made the toys kind of rounded to kind of make them less scary. Of course, kids wanted to be scared by them.
And today they definitely, it's a requirement, isn't it?
Exactly, which is why modern toys, this is semi-modern, this is like 30 years old now, but it's a representative of a modern Godzilla portrayal.
Japanese Toy History Corner.
My friend Matt Alt is author of Pure Invention, How Japan Made the Modern World, and Yokai Attack, making him a perfect guide for us inside Wakaki-san's museum.
So let's talk about the history of Japanese toys. In the post-war era, right after World War II, the first big hits were all made out of tin. Tin cars, planes, tanks, what have you. But kids' tastes are always changing. By the 1960s, a new material came into play. Soft vinyl. Squishy, it's great for molding kaiju, monsters, and making kind of action features. But of course, taste changed again. In the 1970s, my favorite era, we started to see die-cast metal toys, especially of robots, that could combine and had all sorts of action features. Technology changes, kids change too, and these super robots gave way to real robots made of plastic. These hard plastic toys are kind of the precursors of Transformers and things like that. But you might ask yourself, where are we today? And the answer to that is the silicon era. Toys like video game machines. The Game Boy came out in '89, and that's the era we're living in today. All video games all the time.
Let's move on to the evolution of Nintendo, which didn't start as a modern video game giant that we know today. Its evolution, a tale of Japan's influence abroad with tech.
So Nintendo actually started its life as it was a card maker, but then in the 60s they pivoted into starting to make toys. And this must have been, I didn't know they made these. This is 60s or 70s? This is before they became known for making video games. This is really some rare stuff.
Paper model cars and playing cards isn't what we know it for today. The old katakana Nintendo logo of the 1970s.
Nintendo papercraft, and like it looks like this when you build it.
You can find these on auction sites from time to time. Nintendo evolved from this and had massive toy hits in the 1960s. Matt found something hidden behind boxes in the back room.
This is Nintendo's first toy.
What?
It's called the Ultra Hand. This is, I swear to God, I'm getting chills from this. This is the moment that Nintendo transitioned from being a playing card company, which it had been for decades, into being more of a game company. And this is like, it's called the Ultra Hand.
Nintendo no Ultra Machine.
This Ultra Hand and the Ultra Machine, used to pitch balls to kids, were massive hits in Japan back in the day.
いろんな変化球が楽しめます。Nintendo no Ultra Machine.
In 1971, with the TV hero trend, Nintendo licensed characters to make electric clocks called e-clocks. The NG, Nintendo Games logo on the box. The clock, pretty basic but very cool for fans. Nintendo was always innovating, starting with the Ultra Hand. Wakaki-san explains it was hard to get this toy in rural areas, away from Tokyo and Osaka. It extends like an accordion, extending a kid's reach by what seems like several times. Very cool. The suction cup hasn't held up well, but the game is intact and playable.
So Mr. Wakaki actually sold this in his store back in the day. So this is like incredibly rare. You can sometimes find these, but it's very rare to find somebody who actually sold them.
Nintendo moved on to the digital, eventually dominating it in the mid-1980s.
Oh, wait, hold on a second. This is the original Famicom
Yes. Do you know what this became? The
Nintendo Entertainment System?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, this is the
This is what it
original.
looked like in Japan.
Sure.
These kind of maroon and beige colors.
The Nintendo Entertainment System, NES, debuted in 1985, available widely in '86, but had been in Japan since 1983, known as Famicom.
So in Japan, it was designed to look like a toy because they were worried that if it looked too computer-like, that it wouldn't sell well. In the States, they did the exact opposite. They made the NES look like this gray, look like a VCR or a piece of stereo equipment.
Right.
But this is where it all started.
Japan's 1983 Famicom had the same issue with dust getting in there despite the lid. Kids also blew on the cartridges like in the US. The unit more compact than the US, the same tech inside, but with some other interesting differences on the outside.
You have the two buttons, A, B, the controller. I know this so well, it fits in your hand perfectly.
But
Select and start.
They're physically connected on the Japanese version. You can't unplug it. But you notice something interesting? There's a microphone. See that?
Yeah.
One of the reasons why is because it was believed when they first made this machine that it'd be used for karaoke. And it wasn't. Like nobody, I mean, there was like a karaoke game that nobody played, but that just goes to show you how popular karaoke was in Japan of the era, that they actually built a microphone into the controller. And the American one didn't get this. They just ditched that function altogether.
The first NES came with a toy pistol for duck hunt. It was called the Zapper. But the Japanese version of the same tech looked, well, maybe too realistic. You can understand the design choices for the different markets.
This is a Nintendo Game & Watch. This is like way before the Game Boy. This is using calculator technology to make like a little LCD pocket game.
Yeah.
This is one of the first. This isn't
Donkey
the first?
Kong Jr.
Yes. It's like a little like handheld game, and you can only play one. Like there's no cartridge.
Oh, it's in the styrofoam container from the original. Holy moly.
Careful, the faces can kind of fall off, but wow, he's got one. This is real history. This is Nintendo history here.
I used to play games like this back in the early 80s.
When you
right?
bought it and it was just one game.
Yeah.
Like you couldn't like switch the game, it's this game.
It's got an alarm on there.
It was portable though, that was a big deal. This is like 10 years before the Game Boy came out.
Oh, this is so cool.
The Game Boy changed everything. It could fit in your pocket and play multiple games, multiple cartridges to buy. Great business. And the toy for kids in 1989 through the mid-90s. For Wakaki-san, things changed for his toy store in 1991 with the opening of a big toy store chain in Japan.
それで私らの小さな静かな小売店がガバッと変わったのはトイザらスだね。トイザらスで私も売り方とかなんとか考え方180度変えちゃったな。その前に経済界ではオイルショックとかさドルショックってあるけどおもちゃ屋ショックはトイザらスだな。
なるほど。
大打撃だ。買いたいっていうのはこれは人情だし当たり前の話だ。トイザらスは悪いんだけどトイザらス自体が今ネットでやられてるんだもう。
Amazon とか、
そう
楽天とか。
だからねやったやつはやられるっていうこれ鉄則なの。やったやつはいつかやられるって。だから日本の言葉で天に唾かければもう天に唾するやつは必ず報復受ける。自分に戻ってくるからね。
This is Wakaki-san's toy store, opened in 1965. You can still see the hula hoop and iconic toys in the window like it was displayed yesterday. My wife Kanai donated some of her girls' toys to the museum to share with visitors. I talked with Wakaki-san about his philosophy and history. Full-length interview on Only in Japan Go. Now we have the folding robot era of the 1980s, best known through Saturday morning cartoons and now a Hollywood movie franchise.
This nostalgic for you?
This is Transformers.
More than meets the eye.
I grew up on this in the 1980s.
Oh yeah, it was huge. It was absolutely huge. And he has a pretty good collection of Transformers stuff here. But I found something really amazing. Before they were the Transformers, it was a completely different toy series in Japan. Didn't have a cartoon, they didn't have characters.
Oh.
And he has one of these original pre-Transformers toys. Look at this.
This is... I recognize this character.
Yeah, Megatron. He
Right.
became Megatron, but he's not here. He's Walter P-38 Uncle? I guess from Man from Uncle?
Oh, it doesn't even say Transformers on
No,
it.
no Transformers, and it's from a series called Microman, which is a completely different toy line. That's who these were developed for, but check this out. Look at this. Open it up. Mint condition.
Holy
baby.
moly.
Actually shot little pellets, like we didn't get that in the States.
No.
So the Transformers emerged from like totally different toy lines in Japan, and they were kind of picked up in America by a toy company called Hasbro, who sent them to Marvel Comics, and they made the Transformers as characters. But the toys came from Japan.
Yeah.
And these are the toys. This is one of the toys that the Transformers were based on. This is history.
The toy series really was innovative, this set using popular Japanese train lines of the times to make a train bot.
行けライデンエストロンの罠を打ち破れ6つの列車が1つになって合体だ
Every young boy wanted one back then.
ライデン
There's a lot of people in America that don't
Yes.
even think
Yes.
that it's actually Japanese.
Yes. A lot of people think it's American, but
Right.
it's actually a Japanese brand. It's Optimus Prime.
Optimus Prime,
Right?
indeed. Look at this.
Known in Japan as Convoy. This is actually a slightly different variation of Optimus Prime, but it's basically that.
Toy robots were everywhere in Japan. Then it went to another level. We have to mention Gundam, giant mobile suit robots starting from a 1979 anime TV series. It has had the same cultural impact in Japan like Star Wars in the United States. Tomica, Japan's version of Matchbox cars, started in 1970, focusing mostly on Japanese brands. Highlighting Japan's massive automobile industry. They are still sold in small boxes today for about 500 yen, but rare ones can fetch a lot more on auction sites. Barbie came out in 1959, originally manufactured in Japan of all places. Licca-chan came out in 1967, a Japanese response to Barbie. Japan had a culture of making dolls, like the wooden kokeshi around Japan's northern hot spring towns. The fabric dolls, well made in Japan. These were popular until 1960 when Barbie and Licca-chan came. Very realistic, the eyes, nose, lips. Barbie was too glamorous for Japanese girls, a woman. Licca-chan, more kawaii, localized for Japan. A girl, cute, which is the same even today.
Licca-chan, 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 kawaii Licca-chan.
In the beginning, of course, people just played with things in the natural world around them. But after World War II in particular, character toys started to come into the picture. Licensed merchandise. Like an animator or a manga artist would make something and then a company would, license a portrayal of it and that would become a toy. And character toys are really the mainstay from the 60s and even now today. Character toys are still a really big thing.
Ultraman, a sci-fi series franchise on TV, started in 1966. Alien superheroes battling Kaiju. It was the world's third top-selling licensed character in the 1980s, like Superman in the US. Superhero series like Super Sentai and Kamen Rider spawned so many toys in the 1970s and 80s.
And we all love ladies who are cyborgs.
What?
Well, maybe I do.
Characters in Japan kept on coming and coming, taking over the world even today. So many Japanese toys were based on American toys and vice versa. Giving toys means Christmas, and Wakaki-san gave us his insight on that connection in Japan.
アメリカはクリスマスがあります。クリスマス時にみんなたくさんおもちゃ買います。日本は
同じ。
でもクリスマスが
同じ。
正月じゃないですか。
もうね、すっかりアメリカナイズされてるから。
で戦後から。
戦後からね、昭和ね、アメリカ離れしたのはね、1960年くらいから45年に日本負けたんだから。1950年20年間っていうのはほとんどアメリカの真似してた。それからクリスマスったらね、アメリカ4日を喜んでたからね。日本って正月打ったら25日クリスマスで1日ったら6日しかないですよ、1週間くらい。日本の最大の行事っていうのは元日なんだから、元日4日もクリスマスのがいい時やった。子供にとってはね。
やっぱり誕生日も。
その次に誕生日。子供がおもちゃにちょっとありつけるのはクリスマス、正月、誕生日。そんなもんだね。
This led to Japanese folklore, and who exactly is Santa Claus to the Japanese?
少しちょっとイカれてたな。イカれてた。
ジャパニーサンタクロース見たことない。
ない。だからサンタクロースってどこの人も何も知らなく、要するに白い衣装あげて真っ白であれして大体煙突から入ってくるっていう。煙突これどうやって入るのこんなの。
まるで妖怪ですよ。
妖怪だあんな。
サンタクロース妖怪です。
妖怪かも。
妖怪だ。ゴジラの変形だ、ゴジラの。
いや、まず見えないし。
Sorry, Saint Nick.
見えないし、変なところから現れる。
そうだ。妖精って言ったらちょっとね、かっこいいね。
Through my friend's collection, we could see how Japanese toys really did impact the world and the connection between people and toys.
Toys really do build bridges, don't they?
Absolutely. Between parents and kids, between kids and each other, and between Japan and the world. I mean, toys are one of the big reasons that we all love Japan today.
Toys all have a story. There's the hype before you buy it. And then there's a story that becomes your own, the personal story you have with that toy after you buy it. And that's what I really love about this place, about Wakaki-san's connection to the toys.
Yeah, no, everything in here has a story. And because he's somebody who actually sold this stuff, it's very real. He's not like a collector. He lived this. He is the toy man. And this is like his palace of dreams.
Just remember that toys are more than just toys. They have their own story. As long as there's somebody to tell it. Mata ne.
Mata ne. Yes. Yes.